Okay guys, how's it going? You guys asked, I'm going to provide. I've been getting a lot of comments on my last complete review video of this. If you're really interested in seeing that before I do this one, because I really do recommend you watch that one first before you do this one, this video. So if so, please pause it, take a look at that one. I go 100% in depth with absolutely everything about this snowblower, from the lights to the horsepower to the EFI. Anything and everything is on that video. So without further ado, this is a follow-up video of my Ariens Professional Alpine Edition 28-inch EFI motor with the Rapidtraks. And to show you, I'm kind of doing a follow-up video. The moment I bought it, I put an hour meter on it. At 14.5 hours, let's just say, on this snowblower. So what I do is I do a bunch of snows to help a bunch of people out, help them out, a couple older people. I don't mind it, I enjoy it. So when it snows, I jog between these two snowblowers. If it's light or anything, I go to that one. If it's deep and heavy, this is my next one. So I kind of bounce back and forth. That particularly is my go-to. That's just a Toro commercial power clear, but I'll do a separate video on that one. I did do a review video on that one as well, comparing it. But anyways, let's stick to this one. I'm not really going to talk too much on the details and specs. That's all in the first video. I'm going to kind of go over some pros, some cons, what I absolutely love about this. I did have some issues with this snowblower already, and then I have some cons. So here we go. So I use this snowblower for about a year now. It is a beast of a snowblower. Kind of some information. I always used to run Comp Cadet, and I just did not want to run Comp Cadet anymore. I was so sick of getting a couple years out of it and problem after problem, and I wanted something a little bit better, and the Ariens Professional is where it took me. I absolutely love this snowblower. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. This thing is a little different from your traditional snowblowers. At first I was a little scared with the Rapidtraks, figuring, being that it was track, how hard is this thing going to be able to move? Am I going to lose speed? Because a lot of track machines, you do lose speed compared to a wheel model. And let me just say, I was so wrong in every way, shape, or form. I'm the type of guy, I spent hours on Google. I tried looking up forums, review videos, everything. I was a little bit skeptical, and I kept always getting point back to the Rapidtrak. I love it. For the most part, I always have it up in wheel mode, which is the back kind of up in the air. Occasionally, and very occasionally, I'll press the button, which is the next step. That back wheel kind of just floats on the ground. I tend to use wheel mode more than absolutely anything. And then beyond that, I tend to go to where locking it down, where I'll pull the trigger, pull it to the ground, lift the back end up, and that just locks. I use that mode more than the middle mode. But the Rapidtraks, I absolutely love it. It's very fast. Surprisingly, for a track model, it's got a very nice grip, and even in wheel mode, because of the tracks being how wide that they are, got very nice grip. It does slip here and there, but I mean, for the most part, the tracks dig. I mean, I know it's not a traditional track style, which that's something I really didn't even want to go to, but I love it. I love the Rapidtrak. Now, however, I feel the Rapidtrak, if you did not have a hydro transmission, meaning if I'm using the snowblower going up the drive right now, and I'm going up the drive, and I'm coming up to a car or the garage, and I can just jam this thing straight in reverse, make my turn, jam this thing in the forward. I know that's kind of used and abused, but you can do that. So I feel, which essentially turns this into a one-handed operation. So if I wasn't holding my phone right now, I'd have the handles locked, so my auger down and locked, this, and my hand usually is constantly on this control, being this one's holding down my drive, and then my other hand is always on this control, which is a help. Now I had some issues where these pins have a bad habit of popping out. I've replaced a couple. I usually, when I go out, I keep a little bin of just pins to get me by if something happens. These tend to pop out. Those are your locking mechanism for when you press your handles. That's what locks it in the back over there, which turns this into a one-hand operation. Now, when those go, this is the biggest headache you possibly can imagine, trying to use this machine, jogging your transmission on top of your chute control. You get very overwhelmed very, very quickly if those pins come out. Not big of a deal. I keep some spare on hand. I pop it in, get by, do my thing, go home, let everything thaw out, and then just simply pop another pin in there. No big deal. So yeah, that is that. My other gripe is the hand warmers. They do work. They're not as hot as you would think they would be. The EFI knob is very responsive. I love it. The chute control, it's a little bit different to get used to, being that when you're operating this with your left hand, it's right there. But it's definitely different to get used to, but it's very comfortable once you do get used to it. It kind of more turns into natural, if anything. I really don't find any issues with that, which controls your Rapidtrak on this particular model, the 32. There's a bunch of buttons. It's all electric, but it's also a lot heavier. I did have to do some adjustments right off the rip. These kind of weren't straight, so I kind of had to, and I had to loosen everything up, straighten the tracks out just a little bit. No big deal. That's just something being picky. As of charging, this Molex plug that's right here, you simply pop it open, comes with the charger, plug it in, let it sit for a little while. It's literally as simple as that. One thing that sometimes you can forget that's actually a safety feature is this is your transmission lock and unlock. When this is unlocked, pulled back, you can turn your key and try to start it, and you can pull as much as you want. This thing will not start. With it in, start it like you usually would. No big deal. So sometimes you can simply forget that that's out and you're trying to start this thing and what the heck is going on. Working my way to the engine. This thing is an absolute powerhouse. I absolutely love this engine. You can definitely tell the amount of extra torque that this 400cc motor puts out, and especially when the EFI comes in. I know it's EFI. You kind of have your people that love EFI, hate EFI, love carburetors, hate carburetors, whatever in the case may be. This EFI motor is a tank. The only huge gripe I have, and it's a very big gripe, is I love the EFI. Usually my average speed is usually right on this little crease or all the way up, and very occasionally am I ever in between here. I run this thing pretty hard. I also take care of it. Every time it comes in, it's wiped down. I spray everything with silicone lubricant. I get it ready for the next one, just like this. That's actually a year, and I think a year old as well. So everything I wipe down. So I do push it a little hard, but I mean, that's whatever. So my average speed's a little higher. If it's spilling out the side, it's a little bit different, but very rarely does this machine spill out the side. If anything, you'll have issues from the snow shooting out for how much snow this thing's taken off, like out the sides, which is standard, no big deal. But I mean, it's a tank, which going to my gripe. When the EFI kicks in, because there's no governor on the EFI motor. So a carburetor motor, once you get to that governor link, it's just going to hover it and keep it there. Where the EFI kicks in, when it senses your more torque coming in, which leads to how much snow this snowblower takes, the EFI kicks in and ramps this motor up past what a carburetor motor can't do, which when it does that, you can really feel that extra power. It just it helps a lot. The downside is this thing eats through so much gas, it's absolutely ridiculous. If you run out of gas, I'm sorry, good luck loading this thing up. It is I mean, it's hard. You can move it. It's manageable, but it's hard. So if you take this thing out, always have a gas can full with you, or at least enough to put it in to get this thing loaded up at minimum. So this thing eats through gas like no other. I've never had another snowblower eat this much gas. But I mean, that's the price you kind of pay. But like I said, for the how much gas this thing eats, for how much power when the EFI kicks in, I'll take it. I'll deal with it any day. So that's kind of love it or hate it. I personally love it. It's a tank of a motor. It's a little bit on the louder side once it really torques down and the EFI starts kicking in. So it's a little loud, but I mean, I'm trying to get the job done. So that is that. More towards the Chute. I keep everything nice and lubed up. I love the Chute. It's got a nice. I have not yet to clog the snowblower once. I do not have a impeller kit on it. It's just how you would buy it if you bought this thing new. I love it. All goes to the little knob to control the Chute, 100%. The lights are very bright. I love them. I wish I can have one more light or a bigger light on the front just to get a little bit brighter. I think that would be a little bit help, or even if it was an option. But as of it sits, I love the lights. They're very bright, nice white. Use the brush like always. And as you see, I do not have the OEM skids on there. I have them actually sitting up there. So I ran the OEM skids for 1 year. This year, I couldn't take them no more. They're the traditional Ariens metal ones. And I have on here the Armor skids. These are I think they're the 1-inch ones. I think they're like $70 or $80 or something like that. They're a little bit on the pricey side, but my God, I should have switched to these things earlier. So with the traditional Ariens ones, I mean, they're heavy duty. Granted, I give it to them. But because of how small they are, which is basically the bolt mounts, and that's it. Actually, better yet, I'll put one side by side for you. There we go. And they're definitely heavy duty. Excuse me, the OEM Ariens ones. So kind of size comparison. I mean, you get a lot more real estate with the Armor skids. So I'm going to set that right there for now. So I switched to the Armor skids. Get you a lot more real estate on the ground. I love them. They're worth every penny possible. Because with the OEMs, I mean, as fast as you come up on a bump, you're slamming into that. So I was constantly walking into the back of this thing. So I wanted to give these a try. I know they're very expensive, but I absolutely love them. I'd buy them again in a heartbeat. They make one above this, and it's a little bit more heavy duty. It would help to have some more weight on the front. I think that would be a little bit nice, but not. I mean, you can perfectly get by just with those. So that is that. As of kind of from the Armor skids, going to the scraper bar, I do keep my scraper bar a little high. I put 3/4. If you take 3/4 stacked, I keep it on that side and that side, which I think is 3/16 of an inch. I keep this above the ground, which definitely helps because, I mean, here's kind of a better shot with the Armor skids. Straight from the front of the bucket catches the crack versus your OEMs kind of catch it just as it and you end up slamming into it. I have went through 1 or 2 shear bolts. I mean, it was kind of my fault. As of the augers, I mean, these are very sharp. These things dig through snow. I'm not going to go through dimensions and anything like that. You can look up my last video. Everything's in there. But as of anything in here, the auger, the impeller, so far I've had 0 issues with any of this. Knock on steel. But I mean, it's perfect. I keep everything, like I said, I keep everything nice and lubed. I just got back from doing snow a little while ago. So this one actually needs to be wiped down and whatnot. But so far so good. Other than that, I had one big issue with this season. I actually had, for some reason, I was hearing a noise. And it just kind of sounded like a dangling noise, like metal on metal. I'm like, what in the world's going on? So I took the belt cover off, kind of lifted this thing up, took a look. And I had two things. And like I said, this is only a year old. I had the spring for the, so in here you have your long pulleys. And then you have your first one, which goes all the way down to your hydro, and then two belts for your auger that's down there, and a big pulley that's down there. The bolt that was on that pulley backed itself completely out, and that whole pulley was just sitting there wobbling away. On top of the brake that when you let off of your auger, there's an arm that comes up and just a simple brake that goes on the pulley to help slow those augers down, versus you let it go and that thing, it just kind of slowly spins. That's the purpose. You can kind of see somewhat of the brake right there. And see, I put the handle down to engage my auger. The brake opens. I let off, closes. It helps shut it down. But I really don't want to take this cover off, but anyways, the bolt from the pulley completely backed itself out on top of the spring snapping, and the spring was sitting down there. I found the spring, okay, fine. It's a spring. It's metal, a lot of vibration going on. Fine, whatever, I get it. But the bolt backing out, I kind of can't get, I don't understand it. I understand stuff happens. I got a new bolt. I end up tightening it down, Loctite it this time around. I called Ariens to try to get to torque spec. They didn't have one, so I kind of just Googled your standard torque specs for that. But it backed itself out, which was odd. You don't see too much of that at all on any snow blowers. It was simple. I was able to kind of go from underneath with my Milwaukee ratchet, which made life so much easier than just torque it down. But yeah, that's it. So that's kind of my walk around, my pros, my cons, a couple issues I had. If you're looking for specs, check out my last video on this thing. I love it. But like I said, my go-to snowblower is that one there. But when I have to take this thing out, the big boy comes out and gets things done. I love it. I buy it again. I'm really glad I didn't get the 32-inch version of this. The 32-inch version is very, very heavy. Even if you get the stripped-down model, which is, at that point, you have to get, I believe, the wheeled version, which is a couple people on YouTube who have that. One in which I think is Garage Gear, his name is. He did a bunch of nice review videos on that one there, the 32 with the wheeled model, I believe it is. Which then you get to the Kraken, which has the light bar, the battery, another light up on the chute, still all the same goodies as this, same motor. The tracks go up and down on a switch, which is a hydraulic controller. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's on there, all switches, the whole 9 yards. I tried it. It's a very heavy machine, but I mean, after using this one, I can't imagine how much snow that other one would move. Probably being that 32-inch bucket, but the 28-inch is perfect for me. You can move it around a little bit nicer. But yeah, that's it. So thank you very much. I had a lot of comments and people asking me about just all kinds of things. I figured, why not do a review video on 14 and a half hours after about a year of this thing and go from there. So sorry the video was so long. I just want to make sure, try to answer everybody's questions, and or if you're just watching the content, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, check out any of my other videos, and thank you very much.